Hi there. This is Brian Payne. Welcome to another episode of At the Catch. Today we are crossing international boundaries for the first time as we have Annie joining us from British Columbia. Annie, how are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you, Brian.
Very good, very good. So, as a longtime state spokesperson, stateswoman of Ergatta, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm CranberryGirl. Nice to meet y'all. I got my water rower in 2020, and I was really excited to get the water rower because I ended up getting Lyme disease between 2015 and 2018, which really impacted my ability to get cardio exercise. It took me a long time to recover. So getting the water rower was really exciting for me. And as an owner of the water rower, I got an email saying there's an Ergatta tablet available. And I watched the video and I was like, I need this. Like, I want this machine so bad. Because I used to do CompuTrainer bike racing. And so do you remember, as a cyclist, did you ever do CompuTrainer?
I never did, but I remember hearing about them and seeing them. Mm-hmm.
So it was like doing cycling sessions in the Hurt Locker. It was like intense and hard, and you're just sweating buckets like crazy, but I loved it. But after the Lyme, I couldn't do CompuTrainer anymore. Okay. So getting the rower was this big breakthrough for me. But when I found out that you couldn't get the Ergatta tablet in Canada, I was so bummed. I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? So for months, I was trying to research how I could get the tablet to Canada. And I found a company called Shippin that acts as your receiver in the US. Oh. And then they ship it to you. So I did pay a little extra. But when my Ergatta tablet arrived, I was like doing cartwheels. I was so happy and so excited. I couldn't wait to set it up. And really, it has been a life-changing experience for me. Like, to be able to just get that cardio exercise, the variety, the camaraderie from the community, the support, it has really changed my life in such a positive way. So yeah, that's really my passion, is Ergatta. It introduced me to rowing. And yeah, I would say probably my second passion are my animals. I just absolutely love my pets, my dog and my 3 cats. And I am also passionate about my work because I'm a mortgage broker and I help people get into homes. So I help a lot of first-time home buyers and just try to help anybody that needs financing assistance. So that's essentially me in a nutshell.
So had you ever rowed before? I mean, any other rowing machines or any collegiate rowing experience or any on the water?
No collegiate, no on the water, just the odd Concept 2 rowing session in the odd gym.
Okay.
And that was really about it.
Okay. Very good. So you have been with Ergatta then since early 2022?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess what you are most famous for, well, you're famous for many things, and many people know you, is for your workout, your 1,000,000-meter workout. 50-minute onwards and upwards.
It's so funny.
Well, what were you thinking when you created it? Because it's not an easy workout.
Right. So the whole time I was rowing my workouts with Ergatta and I was building up to the 1,000,000-meter mark, I was thinking about what I was going to create the whole time because I thought this was so cool that Ergatta allowed you to do this. So I was thinking about all the things that I liked about the workouts, my favorite parts. And I really liked workouts that had a warm up, had a build up, a bit of a sprint, and then a recovery. The recovery is important. And so when I designed Onwards and Upwards, it was, and when it was named Onwards and Upwards, it was really about honoring anybody who's overcome adversity or has dealt with adversity and is looking forward. It's about looking onwards and upwards. You're not looking back. You've had adversity behind you, but now here's the future, and you're running with it. And so when it came out, like, I really liked actually the 50-minute gun whale runner. I think that's the name of it. So when I was designing the workout, I thought 50 minutes was a good guideline. And then in actuality, when it was done, I realized, oh, this is a little bit long. And it's okay. Like, you know, in Pulse, you can pause and you can take breaks. But the Meteor workout with the bonuses, when I was adding the bonuses, I thought, this is pretty hard. I thought, I don't think I can do this, but I thought there's people in the group that may appreciate the added challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the bonuses went in there. And I could actually only do onwards and upwards in the Meteor with the bonuses when I had reclassed into class 7 after I had COVID. So after I had COVID, I was really sick and I recalibrated. And I thought, oh, I'm enjoying class 7. This is a nice break. I'm going to do my workout. And then I started to feel better and get stronger. And so I recalibrated again, and it put me back into class 5.
Okay. Well, for those that aren't familiar with it, check it out. Put on your filter bars, find 50 minutes, and then it's onwards and upwards. And I'll read the description. Designed to help to get you to a new class, or if you want to push the upper ranges in your existing. A blend of endurance and hit. And then the key word, bonuses in Meteor. That's kind of an understatement, but yeah, there's bonuses and meteors. And they keep coming. So I reached out to Ergatta because I was really curious about how many people have experienced 50 minutes onward and upwards. And there's one guy in particular that has done it a few times. Greg, if you're listening, shout out to the Lifesaver, who's done it 556 times. 556 times.
Unreal.
And so we look at, like, well, what about the whole community? So 319 people have done it for a total of 1,693 plays. So Greg's done nearly a third of that, but that's a lot of unique users that have attempted the Meteor version. Another 150 have done the Pulse 250 times. I've done both of them. Enjoyed them as very much. And so once it kind of got a legendary status, a 30-minute version popped up. What's the story behind that?
So I just thought I needed a 30-minute version. And I thought, if I need a 30-minute version, maybe the other people out there too would appreciate a 30-minute version. Because, you know, I mean, life is life. And you sometimes don't have 50 minutes to devote to a workout in the morning. Sometimes you're time constrained, right? So I thought 30 minutes was just more doable from a time factor. And I left out the bonuses in Meteor on that one.
Thank
you. Just to make it simplified and more doable, because I'm a firm believer in workouts that are doable. The workouts that have really, really long sprints and stuff like that, I can't do them. You know, so I wanted to make something that was doable. And yeah, so I just thought the 30-minute version filled a little bit of a need.
Sure. Okay, so Greg has only done the 30-minute version 34 times so far. But just so you know, 228 people have done it for the Meteor 366 times. So it's climbing. It's only been out since a couple months.
Yeah.
Not very long.
A couple months. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think the first time that's ever happened in the Ergattaverse, we've now have a tribute workout that when the Lifesaver finally hit Well, he hit million meters a long time ago, but when he finally got around to creating his perfect workout, it's of course called the 40-minute ode to AC. And we're not talking about air conditioning.
It's adorable. I mean, that is so amazing. Like I was just like, oh, I was really touched, and it was just really, really awesome to see that. And thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg.
Have you done it yet?
I haven't.
Okay.
I had in the last 6 weeks a very bad arthritis flare up in both knees. So swollen knees, creaky joints. If I go from sitting to standing, it's like crack, 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 crack. And so I haven't taken that on, but I have favorited it. So I will do it as soon as my knees have chilled out a little bit.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, so far it's been out even shorter time. 60 users have done it 72 times. So it's getting there. So in doing this research, I had to ask for my own personal knowledge. How many people have done my 1,000,000-meter workout, which is called the Hour of Pain? Which,
Hour of Pain.
It's funny, it was the very first one to be done, and it was before classes came out. So, like you said, it was not supposed to be easy. And I haven't even attempted it in a year or so. It is that hard now. But I'm glad that 229 people have given it a shot, 354 times. So,
and it's a hybrid.
It is. Yes, it is. That's right.
Yes, it is a hybrid. Yes.
And it's.
So when in a timeline, when was that put out? Like how many years ago was that?
That would have been probably mid 2020.
Okay.
Late 2020. So pretty early on.
Yes.
And I kind of want to have a reprieve of it, make it a little more friendly, yet still challenging. And I've got some other things up here that I'm working on as well. So very good.
Oh, your Take It Easy workouts were very much appreciated.
I enjoyed making those because I think that's what people need a lot of the time. The fact, well, when you do something for 78 minutes, it might not be too easy, but it was all about the records. So that was the
definitely. I've done your Take It Easy workouts for sure and love them. Yeah, they were definitely needed.
Okay. Speaking of great workouts, you're wearing a very special T-shirt that shows you've accomplished one of the most insane things to do in the Ergattaverse.
Yeah. I still couldn't believe I finished it. Like I had signed up for it and was really excited to do it. And then, Lindsay Siegel was emphasizing, you can take breaks. You can take breaks. It's okay to take breaks. I'm like, okay, all right. If we can do breaks, I think I can do this. And it is a lot longer than you realize. Basically,
it's a commitment.
42 kilometers on the rower.
It's a commitment. And for those that don't know what we're talking about, the Marathon to Mordor is a race on the platform. It's 42,000 meters and then some. And it has become a tradition the Sunday before Thanksgiving, each November, we do a Marathon to Mordor group race. It's really all in fun. And we'll do a big Zoom call, and everyone needs to plan their race to end at the same time. So within the span of a half an hour, everyone's finishing. And it's funny because you'll have a computer nearby and you'll watch a bunch of heads, people going like this back and forth into the screen or whatever. And kind of the tradition is a lot of people watch one of the Lord of the Rings movies because it takes that long to get through the race. Plan for 3 hours or more. But it's been a fun time. It's been a neat way to meet people, to suffer together. Of course, we're going to do it this year again. There will be notifications about it on the Facebook group, on the Ergatta group. So if you want to come enjoy a bit of a suffer fest,
Enjoy.
how much you suffer, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
You know, I couldn't believe it. Like, because when I first read about it, it was like, oh, and we're going to zoom in. I'm thinking, okay, how is this going to work with us zooming in? And I'm like, okay, just go with the flow. So, you know, set up the Zoom link, and then you see everybody doing exactly what you're doing. They're rowing and you're watching them, you know, and then once in a while you could see people going off the machine for breaks. And I thought, oh, this is really cool. And so that first experience and kind of suffering together, it bonds you, it unites you, you know, you're suffering through bonding through suffering.
Well, it's another great example of how the Facebook group and the Reddit group to some extent, we all know what we enjoy. We enjoy Ergatta, and it's fun to meet people virtually. Doing a Zoom call, it's a way to meet someone, you know, a little more in person. We've traded messages on the Facebook group for years, but this is the first time we've actually sat face to face, which is fun. So it's happening more and more that virtual friends are becoming real friends, and that's a great thing. And I don't think anyone would have anticipated that happening when this Facebook group started.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is nice to have that community support and to encourage each other. You know, the world is a difficult place. There's a lot of suffering and a lot of people going through difficult times at home, around the world. And so when we have these opportunities to inject some positivity, it's really what we can do in our little micro worlds to make the world a better place. We share positive feedback, encouragement, and do everything we can to spread some of that positivity. You know, it's really all we can do, right?
Well said. Well said.
And that community is our little Ergatta community, which isn't so little anymore, is a great example of that. And, you know, it's if I need help or assistance or questions, or Ergatta is fantastic with their support, but the community itself, like, it's a fun place to be. And it really changes the dynamic of just working out on your rower. Because now you have a fantastic piece of equipment. You have an amazing range of workouts. And now you have the people connection, which is, you're hitting it like you're nailing it right on the head with the virtual connection, because now we're able to have relationships, which is amazing.
Well, I know that you have your Ergatta Facebook group friends, but then those people start creeping into your real Facebook profile and becoming friends there. So
yeah,
it's a great thing.
Yeah.
So would you be up for what would you call it, Ergatta regatta?
Yeah.
Getting together and possibly having some sort of, you know, an on the water experience with a bunch of fellow Ergattans.
It'd be amazing.
Talk about it. It would be amazing. It would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be super fun. And I recently tried open water rowing for the first time. I joined a Learn to Row program. It is so much more harder than you realize. You know, just getting in the boat for me, like, so the Learn to Row program had set dates, and I really didn't want to miss the opportunity. But unfortunately, it coincided with this really terrible arthritis flare-up in my knees. So I show up at Learn to Row with a really limited range of motion. And so at first we were doing the dry land exercises on the ergs, and I had the technique down, you know, thanks to all my Ergatta training and the videos, and thumbs up on technique, no problem. We go to get in the boat, and everyone is able to get in the boat but me. I put my foot on that little sandpaper strip that's in the boat that your balancing point.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to get down and I can't get down. I cannot get my butt down on the seat. So I had to sit on the dock and they were holding the boat. I had to swing my butt onto the seat and get my legs in. And that worked the first time. The second time, I was trying to do it by myself. I was holding the oars with one hand. I was trying to get my butt into the seat and I slipped. And so my forearm slammed against the side of the boat and scraped down. It hurt so bad. But I was in the boat and I couldn't move. And this was just throbbing. Like, I'm like, oh boy, I wonder if I broke something because it hurt. So we do our 2-hour session and then we come back and I get out and I finally can take my jacket off. And this is shredded and bruised and huge bump. So, and then last Tuesday, trying to get in the boat, I'm on the dock trying to get my butt in the seat, but the seat slips out from under me and off the rail. So now I'm stuck in the boat, not on the seat, and my feet fell off the holders. And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? I'm stuck. So somebody had to come along and, hold the boat. And like, I had to just carefully lift myself up on the sides. And then they had to get the seat back on the rail and under me. Once I'm in, it's all good. But the getting in and out, so hard. So like Learn to Row 2 is coming up on Saturday. And I haven't registered for it yet because I emailed the lady and I just said, I want to join Learn to Row 2, but the getting in and out is causing me some anxiety. So what am I going to do?
Well, I hope that works out. And I guess it's a good thing that I haven't heard many people falling off their ergattas.
Yeah. But, interestingly, so I had always experienced ergatta without the experience of being on the water and enjoyed all the workouts and really could appreciate what they've created with the calibration, the pulse workouts, the meteor, the echo. But now that I've had a little bit of experience on the water, I can see just how valuable all of those workout variations are. The strokes per minute, learning timing, learning the breakdown between, when you're doing your split and you've got the force of the pull versus the frequency of the strokes per minute. Mm-hmm. All of that plays a role in how you can perform on the water. And it's just became full circle after I went through these 4 lessons. It gave me newfound appreciation for what Ergatta has done. It's been incredible. So I am a true blue diehard Ergatta fan forever. It really has changed my life, and I'll be eternally grateful for the community, for Ergatta, and yeah, just trying to stay positive. And Greg Perry.
Very good. Well said. Well said. I know there's lots of people watching this are just shaking their head.
Yeah.
Exactly the same the way you do.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Thank you very much for taking the time to share your story with us. We appreciate it. One day, I'm sure we'll meet in person. I look forward to it. And
at the Ergatta Regatta.
The Ergatta Regatta. We'll have to make that happen. And if not, I'll see you at Mordor, of course.
Definitely. Yes. Thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you very much. And everyone else out there, if you have any ideas for a show, if you want to be a guest, if you have a great story to tell, please let me know. And we'll see you next time on At the Catch. Bye-bye.